Baxter here from Misfit Island, and today we're talking about authenticity. One of the biggest challenges anyone has, especially when they step into a new role, is how to bring their whole self and their authentic self to that role. Typically, you've gone through a fairly rigorous process of being hired, and so you certainly come in having demonstrated your experience and your skills, and probably a little bit of your personality. But most of us are influenced by the environment we're in. In fact, that is part of what has shaped us to be the person we are. We have certain tendencies that we're born with, and we develop more as we grow up. And then we are influenced and shaped by where we've lived and who we've interacted it with and the books that we've read. And so by the time you show up for your first day of work, you may have already gone through some micro transitions in anticipation of what the job might be or in anticipation of what is expected from you. Perhaps you've even grown just from the books or news cycle that you've been watching. And so by the time you now show up at this work, it's a little bit different than when you weren't even sure if you got the job, or the excitement you felt when you got that offer and actually accepted the job. It's weeks, days, who knows? You show up and you look around and you get the feel of the environment. I'm no longer trying to establish myself as I could work here. You're working here, right? You're established. And it could be that you're in your home office like I am, and now you're showing up on your first Zoom call or your first onboarding experience. And now you're presenting, this is the me of today. And whatever is expected of you as you continue throughout that day and that week will continue to shape and morph you. So how do you bring your authentic self? The one that is sustainable, the one that you don't have to put in a lot of energy to showcase to the world, but is you, which gives you much more of an ability to be less stressed, to not use up all of your energy because you're just being you. You're being you every day. And that could be someone who's ultra focused and ultra detailed, or very relational and is able to converse easily and draw energy from other people in a positive way. Not that you're depleting them, but you're drawing energy from them, and you're able to do something with it and put back that self into the world, and the thoughts and the experience and the skills and the personality are all coming together to make that work environment better. And the key, this is the key to that authenticity, is to become self-aware. Who are you? And there are lots of different ways. There's certainly various behavioral and personality tests you can take. And the more you take, actually, the more that it continues to resonate and help you understand you. Once you understand you, you can start putting things in place to validate or to measure, am I being more me or am I being less me? Am I moving away from who I am, or am I moving more authentically to who I am? As you continue to separate this is what the world wants from me, to embracing this is who I am and this is what I have to offer, like it or not, right? It's one of those things that you will be able to do better work. You will be able to evaluate what is pushing me away from me. And in some cases, to be fair, you may decide, I don't really like this about me, and go through healthy changes. I'll be vulnerable. I wish I exercised more. I wish that I had a more fit body, not for anybody else, but for me. I would just like that for me. I would like to look in the mirror and go, I feel healthy because I look fit. And that's not necessarily something that someone else from the outside might look and go, that's healthy, that's not healthy. That's not something that someone may look at themselves and who knows what they're dealing with. Forget all of that. This is for me. This is not for someone else to take on and say they need to do this. I, for me, want to be more healthy. I evaluate, measure part of that health by looking in the mirror and say, am I more in shape or am I less in shape? And when I'm less in shape, it's an indicator to say, yeah, maybe you're not making all the right choices. Doesn't make me a bad person. It just means that if I have that as my goal, I simply need to choose to make healthier decisions so that I, in turn, can say, well, I'm doing the right things, but I don't look healthy. What else is wrong? Or I'm doing the right things and I see the results, and therefore I have embraced that choice. But whether I show up very healthy and very fit or not probably doesn't impact my work. At least it could if I was a bodybuilder or a trainer. But for me, that would be something I would want to pursue. And so authentically, I'm like, okay, I want to make better choices and I want to be fit. If I show up to work and I'm not feeling my best or my greatest, that might impact my work. So there's some truth there. But for you and for me, we have to say, who is it that we are? What might need to be adjusted so that it feels better? But ultimately, I'm not going to change because someone else said I have to be that. I have to change. I have to do it for them. I have to do it for the world. If I'm not bought in, I'm not bought in. And therefore, I would be wasting my time, energy, and probably too much investment in the wrong things to try to get to some ideal or someone else's description or, box that they want to put me in. I want to be me because me is enough. I want to be me because I believe that me has a lot to offer other people. And you too have a lot to offer other people. But how much are you being manipulated by the forces around you? How much are you embracing you? And sometimes you just don't know unless you become self-aware. And when you're self-aware, you can better determine when you are or aren't where you need to be. I hope that's helpful. I wanted to just share from the heart. Be authentic, but now hopefully you have a few more tools to understand what that even means. I recommend you take some time, sit down, journal, take some of these online tests, see what really resonates with you. Don't just buy them hook, line, and sinker as if that is absolutely who you are, but use that as a guide to self-reflect, figure out who you are, and then be the best version of yourself. And be aware when you're moving away from it. And maybe there are times when you feel like you have to. I would say for the most part, let's use the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you will not have to change who you are, but you may have to make some choices out of that. But being aware is the key. Look forward to talking to you next time. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss another video. Put the notifications on. We'd love to have a dialogue with you in the chat. So let's make that happen. We'll talk to you soon.